Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the SHAC. Early doors here. Getting in early just to make sure that we get a good seat. It's not raining today. Come on in. Grab a seat. It's not raining here. What about where you are? Let me know what the weather's like where you are today and where you are today. Well, I'm guessing you're in the same place you were yesterday. Good morning, come on in, grab a seat. Have you got your tea with you? We always come in a little bit early, don't we? 5-2, just to make sure that the volume's working, that my peg's still holding up. I think this is starting to become quite a feature. I don't think I want a clip anymore. This is a trendsetter. You watch, all the newsreaders will have pegs soon. Is it working or is it banging against my jumper? Is it working? Can you hear me all right? Or is it banging against my jumper when I talk? Is it ruffling? Somebody tell me. Maybe Steve. Steve, good morning, Steve. You're in the building this morning helping me, aren't you? Maybe you could just send me a quick text to let me know that my microphone's working and it's not being affected by my jumper. Could you do that for me, please, Steve? I know you're there because I just talked to you. Come on. Good morning, come on in. Come on in. Nice to see you, nice to have your company. The sun is shining today. It was supposed to be raining, but it isn't. Not today. It's beautiful. A beautiful April morning here. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you coping? How's it going? One day at a time. That's how it's going to go here, isn't it? One day at a time. That's how it's going to work. It's the only way we can do this. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome. Overcast, is it? Overcast in Cheshire. I can just see that. The screen's a long way away from me, you see. Hertfordshire. Welcome. So nice to have your company. It's lovely, isn't it? For me, I open my eyes. Oh, well, Steve's not listening, so I can't. I'm going to assume now that my microphone's okay. Okay, that'll have to be. It's working from home. No, it's not my microphone. Come on in. Forget it. It must be all right. Otherwise, you'd all be telling me, wouldn't you? Nice sunny day today. Nice sunny day today. Okay, and yeah, I thought we'd have a really lovely doodling session today. My microphone is fine. Thank you, Jim. Good. There is life beyond this attic. Hey? Feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? Do you talk to yourself a lot? I'm talking to myself all the time now. I have full-blown conversations. People have had in-depth conversations with me and they don't even know it. Come on in, good morning. What's the time? Nearly 10 o'clock. 2 minutes to. Gives us plenty of time to get in the door, grab a seat. Got your pens, got your pencils, because that's all you need, isn't it? You need a pencil. You need a rubber's good, an eraser. Faber-Castell pencils are great. There are two-ended ones. One end is pink and one end is white. Okay, they work. The pink one works beautifully on HB pencils. Somebody yesterday was saying that it was making a smudge. That won't be the eraser. That will be the pencil that you're using. Now, let's have a look. So we've got our rubbers ready. Rubbers at the ready. Erasers, pencil, HB. And then we're going to use a couple of pens, aren't we? I ink in with my Micron pens. We sell all this stuff, but you can use anything. As long as you've got a bit of copy paper and a biro or a pencil, you can join in, can't you? And do you know what? Even if you don't want to join in and you just want the company and you want just the banter and you want to hang out with a bunch of crazy people, then you're in the right building. You sure are. So let's have a look. What's the time now? It must be 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock. Come on in. Good morning. Grab a seat. You're never too late for this. Welcome to the SHAC. Safe. Oh, yeah. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. That's right. And that's what we've been doing. This is the 5th week now. The 5th week. That's amazing. That's what I was going to say. Every morning when I wake up, and then it kind of comes over you and you think, oh, that's right. And you have this reality check, don't you, of what's actually going on in the world. And then I lie there and I get quite despondent about it because, you know, the news is not helping, is it? We're not watching the news anymore. It's absurd the way that's being handled. And so then you lie there with your own thoughts, and that's not a great thing. And then suddenly I think, right, I better get up, I better get my face on, I better get going, I better work out what we're doing today. And straight away, I'm distracted. And I hope that that's the same for you. You know, 10 o'clock in the morning, here we are, all together. Good morning, come on in, and we're doodling. And this week we've been in Japan. We were in Italy and Carmel last week, weren't we? And this week we decided to come to Japan. So if you're new here, we started on a geisha. So she's really doing well. Let's have a look at, are you ready? Should we get started? Because we've got loads to do today, haven't we? Today I want us to learn how to draw cherry blossoms. I practiced ages last night. It was really enjoyable and I think I figured it out now. And so now I want to share it with you. I'm only one step ahead of you all the way here, and that's not a bad thing, is it? Okay? There are no experts in this building. There are certainly no experts in this building. There are no judges. This is not a competition. This is purely a way to get out of our heads, to redirect our thinking and get on a much more creative plane. Because when we're on that creative plane, then what you'll find is you're not projecting about the future. You're not worrying about what's going on. You're just focusing. And today we're going to focus on a few doodles and we're going to focus on some beautiful cherry blossoms because they're all over the place at the moment, aren't they? Really beautiful. And Japan, although I've never been there, is famous for its cherry blossoms. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at where we've been and then we'll get cracking. Oh, headless geisha. So you can see here, this was the geisha that we did, wasn't it? And we did the shape. And just in case you are new to the fold, if you go to claritystamp.com, our website, claritystamp, all one word, .com, you'll find halfway down the page it will say download of geisha. Because this was our safety net, wasn't it? We all drew it, but I offered you my outline so that if yours wasn't quite what you had hoped, then there was always the get out card, wasn't there, with the download. Okay, so I'm cracking on with the one that we were drawing, and so this is the one that I'm going to work on today. And if you want to, you can always go back to the download, the safety net, and there we are. SHAC Live, that's what she is. She's just the outline and then you can fill her in. And that's the other thing is, of course, if you want to catch up, then you can just go to YouTube. All of these are captured on YouTube. You can go to the Clarity Stamp page and you'll see there every chapter for the last 5 weeks, every day from Monday to Friday is all recorded for you in order. So even if you want to start, I got a message from somebody saying that she didn't think she'd be able to do it. But then a week in, she thought, well, what's the worst that can happen? Exactly. And so she started, and she's really, really excited with her progress. And not only that, it's not just about your progress and your confidence building. It's also about the fact that you're not fretting about things you can't control. So it's a win-win. You're honing your doodling and your illustrating skills, and you're not worrying about stuff that you've got no control over. So this is where we were at, and I thought, and this is, don't panic, this is easy. If I can do it, you can do it. We established that on Monday when you saw the state of my geisha, right? So this is what I doodled for us so that we've got somewhere to go, you see. So what I want us to do now is do the boulders that she's standing on, and then we're going to start building the landscape. It's very easy when you break it down. So let's have a look up close so you don't start worrying about something that's not worth worrying about. They're just little blossoms, aren't they? And you can see I've penciled in my frame. I didn't want to make the outline pattern too busy today. Come on in. Good morning. Grab a seat. No, you're not too late. We haven't started yet. I'm still waffling. So I didn't want to make the outline pattern too busy today because I thought there's so much going on with the blossoms. Yeah, but it's entirely up to you what you want to do around the outside. Excuse me. So what we'll do now is we'll take a look at these pebble patterns here, because we did the kimono and we did the obi. Yeah, and now we want to do these. So let's get started, shall we? We're going to use our pencil first. And do you remember I also suggested that, now where's that grid? Yeah, here's a sampler. I mean, mine's a bit rubbishy, but do you remember I said just draw like 9 boxes, and then as we do the patterns, you can practice them in here first and create your own sort of reference sampler. Sometimes that's not a bad idea, you know, because I'll remember then a few months from now, I'll remember, oh, that's right, I had to get that pattern there, I had to do the dots, and then I had to do the lines, and then I had to do the petals. So, you know, it's not a bad idea to break it down like this and have a bit of a sampler. I mean, the clue's in the name, isn't it? So let's have a look where we want to head first. I would suggest we start with the top one and then we work our way down. And I would also suggest that we start with our pencil. Do you agree with me? So I want to go to this one. And I want to start with this pattern here, which is really easy. We've done plenty of this. It's not dissimilar to the fish scaly one here, except they're a bit taller and they kind of go with the shape, if you like, of the boulder. So, is everybody sitting comfortably? Are you happy? Steve's in the building today. Steve Ellen, my friend. And if you've got any questions, ask him. He will be there. He's happy to help you. Steve and I have worked together for a long time now. It must be about 10 years. He's a smashing young fella. And what he doesn't know about our Clarity products isn't worth knowing. Right, so you got someone in the building that you can ask questions. So let's do this one. And let's go to the closer camera. And what we want to do is start just by making, they're like tongues really, like that, look. And as you go round, just make tongues, like that, look, poking up. And then what we'll do is, as we start to come this way, we'll start changing the direction. And I tell you what, this is not difficult if you go slowly. There we are. See, so they change direction. Let's have a look from overhead and you can see what I mean. You see how they change direction? Do you think we could do you want to get in a bit closer on this camera? What do you think? Let me see if I can get in a bit closer. Just hang on a minute. I'm just going to call the engineer. This is me standing on a stool now. That's better. Huh? What do you think? I mean, it's really a bit extreme, but there you go. Is that better? I think so. Right, now, there you go. That'll do. Right, okay, so we've done that. And then what we want to do is come round. So what you're going to do now is the tongues are going to go from one to the other like that, but they're going to go over halfway. You see? So you can meet like that. And now you see how I'm pointing in towards, these ones are up high, aren't they? Like that. Right, now, these ones though, they're going to come in a little bit more. They're coming round, you see. So you might want to come in from the side. There you go. Look. See, so what I'm trying to get you to do is just change the direction that these tongues are going. Is that all right? My head's not in the way, is it? And then we'll do the top one. The only thing I can suggest with this, really, is to go slowly. That's really the top tip. I think that with all the doodles, actually, I think that holds true of all the doodles. When you go slowly, let's have a look at where we're headed. Right, see? Everyone's an original. And then, well, let's do one at a time. You see, this isn't a race. This isn't a competition. This isn't a masterclass. It's free for a start. It's us just getting together. It's just a doodle session. It's keeping our minds on the process. So what that's doing is, it's just, so that one I've done them like that. Now I think on the top ones, what I want to do is come in a little bit more into the, look, see, let's just change it up a bit. So the top one, we're just going to come in like that. See, we're doing it with pencil. Do you see what I'm getting at? So these ones aren't so close to the edge like those ones were. See, those ones are quite close to the edge. These ones are more like that. Look, coming into the point there. More like a, I won't say teardrop, but you see how they're coming in like that? There you go. If I was to draw it in its entirety, I'd be doing this. You see? It's like a tear drop or a raindrop upside down. Does that make more sense now? There you go. Right, and then we'll do the same thing in the top ones as well. So you're going to come in like that. That look nice. Simple pattern. Come on in. You're not late. I know that a lot of you, and I get this, a lot of you like to watch and drink your coffee and listen to the banter and have a look at what's going on. And then later in your own time, you do your work. And I completely, do you know what I think? I'm going to make these a bit teary as well. Like more, I think that might be more interesting. What do you think? Yeah, I think so. I might, when I pen them up, I might make these a little bit more like coming into a point. I think yeah, definitely. Good job we used a pencil. Right, which one are we going to use? Should we use the 05 one from the Micron pens? Let's use the 05 one. And it's like we said yesterday, when you do this, this is like, so we have to concentrate on that, don't we? And now we can relax. So it's like focus, chill, focus, chill, focus, chill. It's like yoga really for the mind, isn't it? Right, should we go again? Right, here we go. So I'm going to do exactly the same as what I did before, but I'm using a 005. You can use a biro, use what you like. Okay. What you have to know is I'm on my own in here, and all I can hear is the clock ticking. Mind you, I think one of the neighbours is bored because I think he's demolishing his house. I've never heard such a racket. I hope he's got planning permission because it sounds like he's definitely taken the roof off this morning. I think he's a little bit mad actually because they were doing this, I think, at what, 11 o'clock the other night? They were banging and crashing around. It's like, well, why can't you do it during the daytime, like normal people, if you're going to demolish your house? But there you go. Fortunately, he's 3 doors up. But you wait, when he starts in a minute, you'll think he's come in the room, it's so loud. I hope he doesn't. I hope he's gone to empty a skip or something. And he's not here for an hour. Right, ready? Can't control the neighbour, Barbara. Much as you'd like to. I wouldn't know. Especially when I'm trying to get to sleep. He must have read my thoughts, because the following night he didn't. He didn't try it again. Because I said to Dave, right, if he starts again, that's it. My alter ego is going to kick in. And he's, I don't know whether Dave rang him up and said, whatever you do, if you cherish your life, don't go again. Because he didn't. Right. Okay, so here we are now. Back in the room, Barbara. You're not murdering the neighbour right now. You're just doodling. So this is what happens when you're on your own, you see. You start having these conversations. Tell me I'm not alone. Well, I am alone. What am I talking about? That's the whole problem. But we're in this together, aren't we? So if you think I waffle a lot, I can't help it. There's no one talking to me. Just a thought, do we know, Kirsty Goodwood, I could just see what you read. Do we know how many people are in this class every morning? Yes, and I think you'd be amazed. About 500 of us. 500, Kirsty. Isn't that amazing? Yep, about 500 of us. That's crazy, isn't it? That tells me that we figured out that we need this. We need to get creative. We need to be mindful. This is all part of your well-being. Look, do you like that? I like that one. It's different to that one, but I don't mind it at all. I mean, if you wanted to, you could even put another one in there if you were really going for it. Hey? Couldn't you? But we haven't done the shading yet. See, when you do the shading, don't overcook it, Gray. Don't overcook it. Less is more, less is more. See, once you do the shading, when you get your pencil, your other pencil, or I can use an 8B, but if we were to start, just humour me for a moment, right? Rather than over-egg this, like if I was to put a little bit of shadow in there with a grey pencil, let me turn her round, because I find it easier. Excuse me doing this. Of course, we're enough close up, aren't we? See, I find it easier to shade when I'm putting the shadow in now. Look, see, I can see, if I put a dark line in there now, you'll see you don't need any more pattern work because the shadow is going to do the job for you. You watch. And you go in there and you make it dark, and then you lightly... Now, if anybody's going to ask about colouring, I think we're going to add some colour to this geisha. I think this is going to be where we begin our colouring journey. And I may only get a pink pencil out for the blossoms, but I reckon that could be a really good starting place, don't you? I know I've seen on Facebook, many of you, you're already diving into the polychromos and the pergoliners, and I'm really happy to see that. But do you know what? We're going to be doing this for a long time, I think, I hope. And if that's the case, then there isn't a race. And if we're happy doing our doodling and our shading, this is like, see what I mean though? Look, you go in there like that. Yeah, so, see what I'm aware of is that a lot of people haven't got colouring pencils, and they haven't got, and when we start colouring, I don't want to lose those people because they need this just as much as the rest of us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Do you get where I'm coming from? And so us crafters who've got a stash, you know, it's like trying to please all the people all the time. Never going to happen, is it? Right, look how nice that looks. Now, if I turn this round, let's have a look. I just added a little bit of shadow. You see how different that looks now? It's cool, isn't it? And then we could put a little shadow. It's good to see you as well, Kirsty. Kirsty and I are old friends. How long have we known each other? Years. Been to France together. Kirsty was on the design team for years. Fabulous artist. There you go. Give my love to Jules. I think that's the thing. We've been around a long time, haven't we, as a company and as crafters, and there is such a powerful community, you know. And I think the fact, like Kirsty said, that there are 500 people, I'm saying there are 500 people in here, that tells you, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? That we have got such a strong community. There you go. Isn't that nice? How are you getting on? Have you done boulder number 1, please? Yeah? Let's have a look at boulder number 2. You'll like this one. Do you remember when we did the netting on the do you remember the frame with the, oh, it was a really nice one. Let me just grab my folder to show you. Do you remember when we did the one? It was the one with the hot air balloon, wasn't it? It was the hot air balloon one. Where's that gone then? I've lost it. Oh, I don't know. It'll be somewhere. But it was definitely, I'm sure it was the hot air balloon. And it was, is it in the scanner? Have a look. Nope. I'll find it. Don't sweat the small stuff, Gray. Right, but anyway, it was the frame. It was a similar frame. And so what we're going to do now, this one's easy. All we're going to do, again, what we're trying to learn a little bit here is how to kind of roll with the shape of the boulder. So all of these are us kind of learning, if you like, how to come around, you see? And then again, see what I mean? I might come in a bit tighter, otherwise I'm only going to have 2 lines. Make it a bit smaller, Barbara, right? So you go like that, that's better. Because it's further away as well, isn't it? Then we'll bring another one in, like that. And it's going round the bend, you see. Sorry. I know I'm going round the bend. Right, ready? Like that. And then it goes round the pebble, round the boulder. And then this one, see now, you got to think, that one wasn't that special really. But let's think, right, that this is further away and now you get closer. So the ones round the outside, like here, let's make that one closer to that one, right? And then as they come round the front, right, you see what I'm getting at? So that one's going to be like that, then that one's going to be like that, and then it's going to come round more to the front. So what you're doing is you're getting that optical illusion. Do you see what I mean? Look. This is quite cool. And I reckon there's a room for one more in there, like that. So you see how it looks as though, better than that one. That one's rubbish. It's all right. This way, you can really, if you brought these ones in a little bit as well, it would really look like it was dimensional, see? That's all you're trying to do. Get an optical illusion going, isn't it? Right, and when you've done that, instead of making circles like we did last time, I thought, just for a change, we could make diamonds. See? So so they're diamonds on each corner. That's quite nice too. There you go. I was looking at how far we've come since we started doodling. And the fact that we're hanging out in Japan for the whole week. The thing is, though, that this piece of artwork, say, like this one here, right? All that is just loads and loads of patterns and doodles and tricks and tips and ideas, right? And it's just built, what we're doing is we're building a scene, but that's a lot, to my mind, I find that a lot more constructive than if let's learn this, then let's learn that. If it's disjointed, I think at the moment I need a bit more structure. I need the structure in my life because, well, and if I do, you do too. It's like it's very important at the moment. We can only control the controllable, right? And there's so much going on that we have no control over whatsoever. And so we accept that and we keep going one day at a time. However, look, see how these are really on the side? I like this. What we've got to do is where we can get structure. You know, we were talking about it last week about, you know, everybody's buying folders and suddenly sorting out all their groovy plates, and then other people have started buying the stamp folders and they're starting to put all their stamps in order, and I started trying to sort my room out, and then I got all my summer clothes out, and I was sorting out my knicker drawer and my cutlery drawer, and it's like we need to get order, you know, where we can. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And when you transfer that thought process to your art, then to me, rather than doing little disjointed bits, it makes more sense to work towards a finish so that we've got completion of some sort. We've got closure. At the moment, everything in our lives is a bit open-ended, don't you find? Right, are you cool with this one? I think this time I'm going to go with the number 1. Numero uno. And so even if we only get 4 boulders done, this is me covering my derriere, right? Even if we only get 4 boulders done today, you've learnt loads and you're still building your beautiful picture. See? This is cool. Make the artwork come to you. So we've done the pen work, the pencil work, and now we're doing the ink work. And we're hanging out together. That's the main thing. One of my closest friends, her name is Debbie Berry. She lives in Texas. Fabulous woman. And she lived in Japan for years. And she sent me a message yesterday, and she said, Gambate. Let me write it for you. It means, where's my thing here? Let me write it out so you know what it means. In Japanese, she said, Gambate, like that. It means not good luck, but they say it a lot. What it means is do your best. Isn't that beautiful? Do your best. So it's like we say good luck, but they're not even leaving it to chance. They're just saying give it your best shot. Do your best. Isn't that lovely? Gambate. There you go. Gambate. Ready? Gambate. There you go. Didn't know you could speak Japanese, did you? Right, so back to the job. The number 1 to do this. And that I understand why Debbie sent me that, because what she means is there's no passing or failing here. Not for me, not for you, not for anybody. All we're going to do is give it our best shot. Do our best. Gambate. If you find it's a struggle going all the way around like that, then stop at the joints. So you can stop at the joint and then keep going. There you go. So you can see the optical illusion that we're creating, can't you? Are you enjoying this? Right, now for the diamonds. Isn't that lovely? So there you go. This is going to look so pretty. And this is where I just settle right into it. You know, like this is the Zen moment, isn't it? Where you just chill. I wonder if we're even going to get to the flowers, the cherry blossoms. I practiced them for hours last night. Still, cracked it now. It's all right though, you'll have to come back tomorrow. If we don't do the cherry blossoms, don't tut, because I don't do well with tutting. We'll do them tomorrow. And you know what, I'll be honest, that helps me a lot, because not that I'm deliberately slowing this down, but I'm just relishing the process. Because we're on telly on on Sunday. So I've got a 2 to 4 show that I've got to prepare, which means lots of recording demonstrations. And then we've got a 6 o'clock show in the evening on Hochanda as well. So that's, again, that's Paul's going to do some and I've got to do some. But that's a lot of prep, you know. It's a lot of recording. There's a lot more goes into that than you think. You know, those little 10 minutes demos and projects on the telly, they take a lot of prep and a lot of effort. And again, I'm on my own here, aren't I? So it's just me and 3 cameras, and that's okay. But if, for example, I haven't got to spend time tomorrow figuring out what we're going to do with our daily doodle, that's great for me, if you get what I mean, because then I can get up really early and I can just start figuring out what I'm going to be doing on the telly, on the telly recordings, because I already know what we're doing. And that's quite nice. I actually appreciate that. There we go. How are you getting on? Are you enjoying this one? It's nice with the diamonds. I like it a lot with the diamonds. See, and then as you get further towards the side of the boulder, see how they're getting a little bit longer and thinner. It's just the optical illusion, isn't it? Right? So this one here, for example, it's going to be really... What's today? Wednesday? Is it Wednesday or Thursday? I hope it's Wednesday, because otherwise I'm going to run out of time. Wednesday? It can't be. No, it's Wednesday. There you go. Doesn't that look fab? I love it. I like that one. I like that one. Really nice and clean. You see, and then we'll just carefully take the pencil work out underneath. There we go. We'll take the pencil work out underneath. I use a brush just to, so I don't sweep, especially because I've got pencil there now. See, if I start going like that with my finger, hang on, let me show you. If I start going like that, where I've shaded stuff, then all I'm doing is smearing it. And you don't realise how much that's happening until, one, you look at the side of your hand, or you take your eraser and you go through the white paper and you think, wow, it's gone grey. And it's not the paper, it's just because you keep moving your shading over to the left or to the right, depending on what hand you doodle with. Right, I think this close-up camera is quite good on this work, isn't it? Now, should we go to the next one? This is a good one. Let's have a look. So I'm holding it like this so you can see it. Because if you look at it like that, that's really difficult to draw this in that direction. But if you turn it round this way, and then you look, it's just a parquet floor. This is very Japanese, this is. Very Japanese. So if you go 3 that way, 3 that way, 3 that way, 3 that way, see? Just keep going like that. And as it gets tighter, it's really lovely. We'll do it with pencil first though, shall we? How are we doing? Are we enjoying this? Are we enjoying this? I think someone's gagged the neighbour anyway. Yeehaw. So, first of all, we'll do it with a pencil, yeah? And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3. And what you'll see is, you see there's a bit of a curve going on. It's because I want it to have that, you don't get the full effect until, look, see it's got a bit of a curve. And that, when you do the shading as well, look, you can overdo it. But that, you see what I mean? There you are. Just lean on that. Lean on me. There you go. So, if you're around on Sunday, tune into Hochanda. Hochanda, home of crafts, hobbies and art. If you're new to it, it's where we work with the TV channel and we sell our wares on Hochanda. And so on Sunday, 2 to 4, I'm really looking forward to it actually. We're doing corners, clever corners. I'm going to be doing clever corners because really they were the very first thing years and years ago where I started, and that you can get the most beautiful patterns with them, really lovely patterns. It's quite astounding. You see a little corner, and then when you start playing with it, and again for me, because I've been playing with these clever corners for many years, it's taking the pressure off me really, because we're with the postal service. You know, it's quite difficult to get new artwork. We're running. We haven't got many staff in, so it's about production. There's so much involved, and about design team work and getting the samples from the design team. There's so much involved with a TV show, and we thought we'll take our pedal. We'll just take our foot off the pedal for a minute with the design team samples, only because we can't get the prototypes of the design team for them to make the samples to send it back to us. It's all a bit much, and the poor post office is just caving under the pressure. So I said, right, let me do a Sunday show. I'm going to use my number 1 here. Let me do a 2-hour Sunday show where we've already got beautiful artwork from the design team in the cupboard. That's the first thing. So that's a lot of pressure off them and us and the post office. Right, that's the first thing. Let me make sure my pen's working. Secondly, it's something where I can just pick up a corner. I don't mean this in a big-headed way, but if you've done something for 15 or 20 years, you know, it doesn't require a lot of prep. So it means that I can just pick up a corner and entertain you and show you lots of tricks and tips. And it takes the pressure off everybody, including myself. And they're fun and they're inexpensive. Many of you have already got them. And if you haven't, then they're going to be available on the TV. So that keeps them going as well. And so it goes on, you know. This is it. See, the best thing to do with this is to turn the paper, make the artwork come to you. So I'll go that way, right? And then I'm going to come in this way. There we go. If you come over the edge, don't worry. It's a bit of copy paper. Are you enjoying this? I tell you what I am. And I know it's not what I said we were going to do. But listen, if there's one thing we're learning to do, it's roll with the punches. Huh? Golly. There you go. So we're just going to enjoy the moment, because that's all this is about, really. There you go. See, when you go back over with the pen, you can see where you can improve on it a bit if you want to. This is nice, isn't it? Are you getting that 3D effect by putting a little bit of a bend on it? It looks like, do you know what this looks like? This looks like a mummy. You know, like mummified, like bandages, doesn't it? There you go. Slowly does it. Cool. Yeah, so we're on telly 2 to 4. Not you know, virtually 2 to 4, and then 6 o'clock in the evening as well. 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock, and yeah, and then the following Monday as well. I think Ho-Chandra are doing a fantastic job of keeping going. Big shout out to them as well. You know, Charles Darwin said a long time ago, it is not the strongest nor the most intelligent of the species that will survive, but the one most adaptable to change. And I concur with that, you know, and we're just rolling with the punches. That looks a bit ropey, doesn't it? I may have to work on that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I may have to do something about that bit. It's gone a bit. I wonder. I think I might leave that and work on that later. Look, it will disappear when we when we do all this loveliness, right? Then the nib on that one, or whatever you want to call it, will be gone. Okay, it'll be disappeared inside this fabulousness. Okay, all right, let's try. Do you want to try this one? Should we do this one? This is very cool. And actually, we're so close, you could probably see. I was trying to create the illusion of little beads. Does it look like little beads with sort of yarn in between? You know, like little tiny stones, little shiny stones. That's what it's very easy. Let's have a look. So what we're going to do, before we do anything, okay, I think this is one where we want to make a line, because it's the line that we're going to follow. Yeah? So what we'll do is we'll make a line, and I think I probably want to put my line starting about here, as if the boulder was there, if you see what I mean, right? So I'll get my line going there, and you don't want too many really, because otherwise you won't have enough room. I think I'm doing this right. Maybe this is one we want to do for homework, because it's a different shape to this, see? That makes it a bit more challenging. Let's do, I tell you what, scrap that. I've got a better idea. I've got a better idea. I'll get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. And then whatever happens up there happens. But that's a much more intelligent way to go, right? So we're going to come round here like this. Like that. Okay. And then whatever, and then we'll do this one, and then we'll do the next one, and then we'll do the next one. Otherwise, you know, you can't guarantee that this is even going to work. So we'll do three beads, 1, 2, 3 along the line, and then we'll do the line, and then we'll go another 3 beads. So that's going to be, then we'll do 3 more beads. These are quite big beads, but that's all right. Another 3 beads. Okay. Line. 3 more beads. These are huge beads. That's all right. It works for me. Right. How are we doing? It can't be 1:45 already. Are you kidding me? Golly. Right. Okay, we'll do this and then we'll do the next one. That's what I think. Because, you know, this might be a good opportunity to get your sampler out and try it on scrap first. Because you may not like this. Right, I'm going to use my number 005, 005. 005. If you're wondering, if you're new to the fold and you don't know what I'm talking about with my 005s, these are the pens that we talk about. Look, Clarity Stamp, the Bridge to Art, black archival fine line pens, and there's 7 of them, and there's different sizes, and I'm using the tiny one. Okay. Right. So what we'll do is we'll make the circles, the beads, like that, and they touch each other, like that. That's not hard, is it? Listen, if you manage to draw the Geisha freehand, I'm sure you can make 3 beads like this. Gambate. That's what I say. Let's say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Gambate. Isn't that lovely? There you go. 500 people just spoke Japanese in England. Boom. So we put our beads in. And then what we're going to do, just so that we don't, because there's a tendency, if you try and colour in and leave a little bit white, there's a tendency to make it too small. So the trick, if I show you here, is to just draw a little piece like a kidney bean there, like that. This is what you would do with an eye as well. So you can always tighten it up a bit, but this will make sure that you don't go into that area. Whereas if you can't go black, 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 and then you think, right, I'm gonna leave a bit white, you're guaranteed to miss it and make it too small, and then it's difficult to get it back, isn't it? Right, so it's always on the same side, like that, because the light's coming in from there if you want. If you get it always on the same side, then it creates the illusion that there's light shining on it. Little pearls, aren't they? Little black pearls. And then we're going to colour them in. So you colour them in like this. This is where you'll see, right, where's my Dame Edna's? I'm going to put my other glasses on here. I need to get in. Whoa. Right. Okay, that's better. Is my head in the way? No. That's all right, isn't it? I just need to get over the top so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, this is a challenge, isn't it? There you are, see? And because this isn't hard. It's just knowing which step first, isn't it? If you allow yourself that little white space. It's the same on an eye. If you draw an eye, when you get to go to do the pupil, the black pupil, it's always a good idea to make a mark exactly where you want the light to hit the pupil, if you know what I mean. We could do that as well if you fancied it, down the road. We could learn how to do eyes. My granddad taught me, my English granddad. He was a very good artist. And he was all set to go to college as well, art college, but they couldn't afford the uniform. Can you believe it? In those days, they had to wear a uniform and he couldn't afford the uniform. And so he didn't go. But I remember, it's my dad's dad. And I remember when I was a kid, we always used to sit in his flat. They lived in London, in Halsden. And he'd spend hours teaching me how to draw eyes and how to draw faces and noses and hands. Hands are difficult. Maybe that's where I get it from. This, not skill, but, you know, just wanting to learn how to do things. See what I mean about how it looks like the light's hitting it? So when we started today, I honestly didn't think that we'd spend the entire hour doing 4 boulders. But do you know what? That's okay, isn't it? Well, do you know what? I'll tell you something else. It is what it is. It is what it is. So now we've done our lovely black pearls, right? I've made them bigger than in my original one, look. But that's because I wanted you to see what we're up to. And then what you're going to do is go from there to there. Just go follow the line, right, that you've already drawn, like so. And then what I want you to do, now whether or not you do it with, I'm all, you know me, I'm all for pencils. See, so that I'm going to go like that and like that round that side. And again, go slowly. So you're going to go like that and then like that and then like that and then like that. And then you can go again. If you keep it tight enough, you can do two, like almost like a, you know, like on a tassel, like that. If you go tight enough, you can do it. It will look so pretty when it's done, right? Just another little pattern, really. That's all we're doing is doodling. If you go back 5 weeks to where we started with our birds on the wire, it's quite astounding how far we've come, you know. Right, so now I'm going to go, which one am I using? 005, thin. Slowly does it, and then the next one, and then the next one. Perfect. And then again, tight, tight, round we go. Doesn't that look pretty? Hey? Do you know what this, hang on, got to concentrate. This would make a wonderful, like a border around a picture, wouldn't it? Just this, like that would look beautiful. It's a bit late now for me, but wouldn't that look beautiful around the whole car? But do you know what? It's another opportunity. I'm going to stick to the plan, but make a smashing border, that one. Because you've got like that optical illusion thing going on again, haven't you? So now, whether or not you want to add more of these, I don't know. Maybe one more or two more, depends on the size of your black pearls, doesn't it? But I think perhaps we could say that that would be your homework. Can we do that? That you're gonna do that one for homework. You decide, yeah. And then what I want you to do as well, right, is let me just humour me a minute. See, because what we're going to do now, let me just show you a little bit of shading, because you could do this for homework. See here, to make these boulders look as if they're actually on top of one another, we're going to do some shading, aren't we? So let me give you a couple of tricks and tips. So really lightly, we're going to do some, let's call it cross hatching. So in other words, I'm going this way. I'm using my HB pencil. I'm not using a softer pencil, which would be easier. I'm just going to use my HB pencil, because I'm figuring that's what most of you have got. Do you know what I've just realised? Hang on a moment. I've got to get rid of the pencil mark, because otherwise there's pencil marks. Look, it's all right. It's not over till it's over, Gray. Right, just get rid of this first before you start shading. Otherwise, how are you going to get rid of the sketch marks if you got... There you go. Right. And now we can start shading. So what we can do is we can use the side of the pencil. Look, I'm using my finger as well, and it helps me it stops me going too far. And I'm using the flat of my pencil. I can do the flat, or I can make a chisel. You know, when I say chisel, what I mean is I just go like this, really hard on the pencil, and it makes it flat on one side. That's what I mean by chisel. It's not a special pencil, it's just a pencil that you flattened. Right, so you're going to go like that. How are you doing? Are you enjoying this? I've really enjoyed this. I think we need to slow down. I think the whole thing just needs to, let's do it lovely, and let's just gambate, right, and learn loads of little tricks and tips along the way. Helps me a lot as well this week, as I say. Right, so you see now, so now I've got a really nice shadow, because what I'm trying to tell you is that this boulder here is throwing a shadow over this boulder. So in the same instance now, if I turn this around, right, then this one's going to be darker underneath here as well, isn't it? Because obviously, do you remember we made that? So this is going to be darker on this side of the pattern too. Right, there you go. So now we've got two shadows going opposite one another. Do you know, I could keep going for hours with you doing this, but we're going to have to call it a day. So I really do need to get on to that television stuff. See, I'm pressing a bit hard.